This will be a campaign unlike any other in history. And indeed, the outcome is not in doubt. But there may well be tough days ahead.
Everybody, welcome back to a virtual BourBiz. We're excited to have everybody here. This is, I would say, obviously it's virtual. I'd rather be, of course, in person. We just had a recent in-person event here, even among COVID, everyone being safe. You know, it was a successful event for what we were able to work with. That being said, tonight is again our virtual experience, which is really focused on positive, great messaging from great people, incredible resources like we like to talk about. They're veterans, they've lived through it all, both men and women who serve this country in multiple ways and can really have just interesting points of view that have just great attitudes about why serving matters, right? Why this matters to everybody. With that being said, there's a couple things I just want to hit on really quick. One, I hope everyone's being safe. I know it's interesting times right now. But as anything else we've always seen is we persevere, right? That's what we do. That's what we were trained to do, whether it was Iraq, Afghanistan, wherever we were across the world, even if you didn't deploy for that matter, we were always trained to persevere, to adapt, to overcome. Every cliche you want to use, it's true because that's what we're good at. With that being said, I want to talk a little bit more about where we go from here, right? And what I think it's important, especially from everybody out there, because everybody's in a different situation right now, especially from the veteran and military spouse community. One of the things I'm excited to talk about tonight is very clearly, we are on a completely new path and we are going to roll out something that's so incredible that we've been working on with the great Emma Dockery, Derek Dockery, where we have now combined together as organizations in the nonprofit space, and we are going to roll out something called the Military Families Program, which we now have. It's been trademarked. All the things that we need to do, it's going to be official. It's already official, but January 1st, it's going to roll out. That being said, what is it? It's very simple. It is going to be the largest ecosystem from veterans and military spouses and military children to get resources from events. It's not going to be in the format as you used to see BourBiz. BourBiz will still exist in in-person events, and it'll always be somewhere to the left or right of when an MFP, Military Families Program event takes place. This will be a very unique program. We have over 50 nonprofit and federal agencies that have already committed to with us with MOUs. We have every major professional sports league and players from those leagues that will help us with this program and will also committed to helping us and will be a part of all of these events. We have an application that we built. The website will be rolled out by January 1st. All these things are coming together. So we're excited to say that we are going to take this to another level with the support and help of some very significant philanthropists in the area, in the United States. And we are excited about this. With that being said, we're not going to stop our mission, right? Always looking to serve veterans. We don't ask for money. We don't ever charge people for anything because it just is not in the essence of selfless service, right? We understand that as we grow from just what we're doing in this experience, that we have to continue on this path, and we will continue to do so. So with that being said, Tonight, we got some great things that we want to share with. Everyone's going to hear from some great speakers. We also have, of course, Recipient, who is incredible. They're going to give away, $20K for 4 outstanding veteran nonprofits. And then I just take a moment to thank all the people that participated. Kappa Sigma's military campaign, Military Heroes Campaign, incredible organization. We can't thank enough people out there, but there are some great organizations. We're excited. We're going to introduce them tonight if you don't know them already. And some of the people that we've worked with that we're really excited to work with and bring it out there. So without further ado, I let everybody go. Jack Mandaville, everybody.
Welcome everyone to another BourBiz Virtual. My name is Jack Mandaville. Welcome back to everyone who's been to BourBiz before. Welcome to all of our newcomers here. I'm going to be guiding you through everything tonight. I say we jump right into it. Our first guest, he is a New York Times bestseller, a former Navy SEAL and Silver Star recipient, and he is the reason why I get up super duper early in the morning. Not because I'm living by his principles, but because he haunts my dreams. Please welcome Jocko Willink.
Hey, how's it going? This is Jocko Willink here, and it's good to be supporting an organization like BourBiz. And thanks to all you veterans out there for your service. I was actually in the military for 20 years myself. I started off as an enlisted guy, eventually moved up through the ranks, became an officer, and actually had the honor of leading troops in combat. And, in the military, I worked with the best guys in the world, doing the best job in the world, with the best mission in the world. And because of that, my whole adult life, I joined right after high school, so my whole adult life was wrapped around me being in the SEAL teams and being with my brothers in arms and trying to be the best teammate that I could be for them. So that's what my adult life was. And then one day, it was over. After 20 years, I retired. I cleaned out my locker at the team area, and I put all my gear in my van, and I drove out the gate. And it was over. And as I was driving home, I realized that actually it wasn't over. It wasn't over at all. I had served my country, but I wasn't done yet. And in fact, I was just getting warmed up. And I started talking to companies about leadership. I started teaching civilian business leaders the combat leadership principles that I had learned on the battlefield. And I want to emphasize this point. The principles that I taught to young SEAL leaders in the SEAL teams are the exact same thing that I taught and that I still teach to leaders at every level in every industry. So if you're a veteran, the things that you learned that made you successful in the military actually apply anywhere. And on top of that, if you're a civilian business leader and you need people for your organization, then you should look to hire veterans. People that these veterans, they might not have the exact technical skill set that you're looking for, but they do have characteristics that are infinitely more valuable. Things like discipline and adaptability and perseverance. And of course, leadership. Because leadership is the most important thing on the battlefield. It is the most important thing in business, and it is the most important thing in life. And when you break down the important qualities for a leader to possess, the number one quality that a leader needs to possess is humility. So you have to stay humble. When I ran SEAL training, advanced SEAL training for SEAL platoons that were getting ready to deploy to Iraq and Afghanistan, and I had to fire a SEAL leader, I never fired that SEAL leader because he didn't know how to shoot his weapon, or he didn't know how to read his map, or he didn't know how to operate his radio. I would fire SEAL leaders because they lacked humility. Because if you lack humility, you can't learn. And if you can't learn, you can't improve, you can't get better. And that's a problem. Now, when I started working with companies, with civilian companies, I would go to help them with their leadership problems, but they would end up asking me about problems that were within their business. So they might have been a medical company asking me about FDA approval, or a finance company asking me something about tax law, or a software company asking me about coding and interfaces and design structures. And when companies would ask me those questions, I had a good way of handling it, and it worked very well. What I would do is I would tell them the truth. I would tell them that I don't know much about computers, or I don't know much about the FDA, or I don't know much about tax laws. I would tell them I don't know. But then I would help them apply the leadership principles to those problems in order to get those problems solved. And it would work. And it would work not because I was smart, or not because I was better, or not because I could quickly figure out their industry. It would work because I was humble enough to admit what I didn't understand. It would work because I was humble enough to confess what I didn't know. And once I did that, I could ask questions, and I could learn, and I could begin to understand, and then employ the things I did know and the lessons that I had learned in my life to help them win. And the more I did this, the more that word spread. And the simple task of helping people apply leadership turned into a new mission for me. And that new mission of helping people with leadership spawned into a new business. And that business spawned into new clients, and clients turned into books and podcasts, and then more businesses, and then more books and more podcasts. And it seems at this point to be working out pretty good. But I want you to know, and I never want to forget, that it all started from a place of humility. And I stay in that place. I stay in that place because I'm still learning, and I'm still making mistakes, and we're all going to make mistakes. That will happen. And there's going to be things that you don't know. But if you stay humble and you work hard, you can learn from those mistakes. You can come back stronger, and you can continue on the path that leads you exactly where you want to be. So stay humble. Work hard. Work harder than anyone else by going out there every day and getting after it. Once again, thanks to all you vets for your service. Go out there and get some. That's all I've got for now. This is Jocko. Out.
Flo Groberg is an author. He is an Army veteran. He is a Medal of Honor recipient. And I've partied with him before, and that man can party. Flo, take it away.
What's going on, BourBiz? Our veterans and our military spouses. Flo Groberg here, United States Army veteran, infantryman, captain, also Medal of Honor recipient. It's definitely an honor and a pleasure to be a part of this event. I wish I could be in person with you, but this is the new reality that we're all facing. If you know anything about me, you know that August 8, 2012 was the toughest day of my life. On that specific day, I lost 4 incredible brothers: Command Sergeant Major Griffin, Major Gray, Major Kennedy, and Reggie Abdel Fattah. But on that day, 4 new families came into my life. And the Griffins, the Grays, the Kennedys, and the Abdel Fattahs are individuals who every single day, whether or not they communicate with me, or I watch a post, or I just listen to a conversation, or they're just mentioned in a story, or whichever platform, they impact me to drive me to make sure that every day I earn the right to still be on this earth. We are going through some incredibly difficult times. This is something that we've never seen in our lifetime. shutting down our borders, shutting down our infrastructure, shutting down our industries, transportation industries, manufacturing industries, our schools. This is something that's incredibly difficult, incredibly uncomfortable, and unfortunately, it's creating, chaos in different families. It's taking people's lives. But in everything that I've done in my life, no matter how difficult the situation, and this is definitely something I learned in our military, I trust in my support system. I trust in the people around me, and I trust that together we're going to get through these tough times. I've never been afraid of adversity. But this is different. This is a different type of adversity. We're fighting an enemy that is invisible. But I know that I can rely on my training, and I can rely on my experiences, and I can rely on the people around me, whether it's my family, my teammates, my co-workers, folks that I served with many years ago, to really guide me and help me get through this time. I'm not doing it alone. And if you also know anything about me, there's one thing that got me through August 8, 2012, when I was in a very, 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 very dark place for months after. It's the idea of finding a positive in a negative situation. I live my life by this phrase. I literally, in every single negative situation, I try to focus on a positive. I find a positive. In this case, this has been an opportunity for me to reconnect with friends that I have not spoken to in years. This has been an opportunity for me to truly reevaluate my priorities in life. Where do I want to be in 5, 10, 15, 20 years? What type of person do I want to be as a husband, as a father, as a son, as a friend, as a community member? What are the important things in my life? I've had time for the first time in years to sit down and truly look at my life and what I am specifically doing every single day to make a difference and make sure that that's the right path for me. I've also had time to spend time with my wife. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm always on the go, always traveling, and she's traveling, she's got a business, and this has been an opportunity over the course over the last 5 weeks for us to hang out, have lunch dates, to, spend some incredible, valuable time together and just almost, validate after 6 years together how important we are to each other, but that she's the best person in the world for me. It's also been an opportunity for me to reconnect with people that I've made a promise to myself years ago to talk to and make sure that, find out how they're doing. But I haven't. Why? Because I was always so busy and I sort of put things to the side. And I always went with the idea of I'll get to it later. No, this is it. This is a positive in this incredibly negative situation that we're facing. But it is through our perseverance. It is by working with each other, believing in each other, never giving up, and fully understand that we're going to get back up from this stronger as a nation and as a world. We're going to make sure that what we learned from this pandemic will definitely play part in preventing the next one, or at least dealing with it in a very different way that it will not impact our lives the way it is impacting our lives today. We have to stay positive. Right now, we're at the bottom of that draw, and the enemy has got the high ground. But let's look into each other's eyes. Let's remember where we come from. Let's believe in each other. Let's trust in each other. And together, we're going to take the high ground back, take over the objective, win the battle, and drive on and learn from this. This is Flo Groberg, your friend, fellow American. God bless you. And I hope I get an opportunity to see you in person real soon.
The Hunter 7 Foundation is this year's BourBiz grant recipient. They're an organization dedicated to bringing awareness about toxic burn pit exposure with veterans in Iraq and Afghanistan. Please welcome the Hunter 7 Foundation.
This has been called the Agent Orange of our generation. It took 50 years before people really began to take seriously the impact of Agent Orange.
Burn pit was less than a half a mile from where they slept at night, their sleeping quarters. They were all in different places. Some were small, some were big.
And burning constantly.
Burning constantly.
He went to a slew of doctors, tests, scans. He lost 75 pounds. But for nearly a year, no one could figure out what was going on.
They were stunned. I mean, this was a really, really rare form of cancer, right?
This was, and his doctor was smart enough to know right away that this was not genetics, this was caused from the environment.
Rhode Island Congressman David Cicilline says the battlefield isn't the only thing putting military lives at risk overseas. The Defense Department says burn pits are a common way to dispose of waste at military sites around the world like Afghanistan and Iraq. Getting that close can expose someone to dangerous toxins.
6 total deployments, 1 to Iraq and then 5 to Afghanistan active duty. I did 42 months total overseas. I know they burn up pretty much everything, including like medical stuff, so possible toxic exposure from that. I was contracting overseas and I'd quit doing that, and I think I quit Halloween and got back home. They don't really know what's causing it, so it's stemming from something. Cancer is a problem, and maybe it is stemming from whatever, burn pits or what have you.
Hunter 7's research indicates 95% of soldiers were experiencing some type of health issues: memory loss, chronic headaches, skin conditions, and white spots in the mouth and on the hands. That's something Chelsea Poisson realized during her research with the Hunter 7 Foundation. It's a volunteer group studying a possible link between toxic exposure and serious health effects.
The Hunter 7 Foundation team is comprised of veterans and medical providers. We understand the importance of a proper diagnosis. Proper diagnosis means a proper treatment. And the sooner that we identify this problem, the sooner we can treat it. That's the difference between acute illness, chronic illness, and a terminal illness. And that means that we can save lives.
Poisson says that screening starts at the moment someone begins talking to their healthcare provider. And it begins with a simple question: are you a service member or a veteran? During her last rotation as a nurse at Miriam Hospital's emergency department, Poisson says that one question could have completely changed how she looked at a patient's care. She says it's especially important, considering data and statistics from the VA show not every vet utilizes VA services. Lieutenant Colonel Sherry Boucher of the Hunter 7 Foundation says this is especially critical for vets who may not know they've been exposed.
I was a little shocked of how few people understood that they had been exposed. I think that there is an assumption that because they were there that they knew they had some sort of exposure.
We're active in the Hunter 7 Foundation, which does a lot of research in this, but there's zero reason why the government is not funding to the tune of millions of dollars of research to figure out what's happening to the service members with their directly related, lung and health issues from burn pits. There's zero reason.
Hunter 7 Foundation's mission is to conduct research and also to help veterans who've been affected by the burn pits and toxins from overseas.
I want to talk to you about medical screening. Medical screening is super important because not only does it allow you to find problems before they start, at least it gives you the opportunity to find them early. This allows you for better chances for successful treatment. I'm talking about using your medical screening as a roadmap, as a guide. Jump on things before they happen, because without that intel, you don't want to wait until it's too late.
Our next speaker is a Vietnam veteran. He is a POW from that war. He's also a Silver Star recipient and motivational speaker. His name is Ralph Galati, and I just want to say that I love saying that name. It's a strong, powerful Italian name, Galati. I don't know. I'm from Minnesota. It's just cool to me.
Hi, my name is Ralph Galati. I'm a former Air Force officer, Vietnam veteran, and former Vietnam prisoner of war. My message today will be sourced from a combination of my POW and military experiences, as well as 30 years in high-tech business sector and 30 years as a university professor. For those of you who've served or are serving, thanks for your service. For your families, thanks for their sacrifice. I've spent the past 10 years in support of veterans, providing small business and entrepreneurship training, developing programs for PTSD and suicide prevention through the J-Dog Foundation, and helping with transition and readjustment programs. I sit on several boards, and I feel we are making a real impact. Today, I want to share my time as a POW, providing some real-life insights from my roles in life as a military officer, businessman, educator, and family man. Like each of you, this period of isolation is really uncomfortable. I've had my own experience with solitary confinement, so I can tell you it's not pleasant. However, it does serve as a time for you to assess yourself, your strengths and your weaknesses, what you're comfortable with, and what frustrates you. For those who served, you'll likely remember what it was like after becoming a civilian again. You had to readjust to a new world, as did your spouse and family. If you served in combat, remember when you returned home after a deployment, thinking the world you left behind would be the same world you returned to. Well, in most cases, it was not, neither for you, your spouse, or your family. And of course, spouses and loved ones were left in an equally uncomfortable situation, not knowing how best to handle you. So here we are in a situation that no one could have imagined or certainly not have planned for. It's time to dig deep into that military training and bring to the surface the most important traits and skills you learned to help you become a success, sometimes just to survive. The key to your success is to be ready to act. Use this time wisely to plan and evaluate your potential courses of actions when the crisis passes. Understand all your options. Plan accordingly. One thing is for certain, we have no idea what the world or your marketplace will be like later this year. You better be prepared to act decisively, adapt to the environment that you detect, and do it quickly before your competition does. If you're fortunate enough to have a job, be prepared for changes. There is no signal as to what corporations are likely to do. They may downsize, they could shift to a more virtual work environment, require more travel, consolidate jobs, who knows what. You must be ready for any eventuality. Your resiliency will be tested on many fronts. Whether you're a small business owner, corporate employee, college student, business owner, you must be ready to ensure that you can find your rightful place and ensure your needs are met. You must be prepared to fight for survival for you and your family. Right now, we have all taken a hit, be it financial, emotional, or personal. It's time to recover quickly and move on. Fight the urge to give up or to despair. Fight the guilt. It's a new challenge. Be ready to fight again when the circumstances demand it. You must set the tone. Remember, act versus react. Overall, it's called resiliency. For right now, you can prepare for the changes that are coming. Communicate regularly with colleagues and friends. It's a great source of survival and mental health. If you don't have a mentor or a trusted advisor, get one quickly. They will be both a sounding board and a source of insight for you. Re-engineer yourself. Do a major self-assessment. Find your strengths and be prepared to leverage them. Understand your limitations and either avoid them or develop self-improvement tools. This is a great time to do that. Be prepared to take prudent risks. Don't be afraid to fail. Test your limits and then move forward. Overall, be prepared when the pandemic ends. The world and the marketplaces will not be the same. Ramp up to reality can be quick or can be delayed. Use your time now to strategize on all your options. Perhaps find a way to reshape your market, not wait for it to change. Act versus react. Build your plan, test it with a mentor, have options, exercise discipline, be prepared to execute quickly. If I could help in any way, you can contact me directly anytime. My website is ralphgalati.com. It has all my contact information, including email and phone number. Good luck to each of you.
David Meltzer is a podcaster. He's a producer. He's a top 100 business coach and a best-selling author. He also happens to be the inspiration for Jerry McGuire in Cameron Crowe's Jerry McGuire. Help him help you. Welcome, David Meltzer.
Hello, and thank you, BourBiz veterans and military spouses. My name is David Meltzer, and I am the co-founder of Sports One Marketing. It is such a pleasure to be here with you tonight, and I wanted to share my story how losing everything actually changed my life for the better. It was the turning point of my life to make room for what I want, to live in the middle of a miracle when nobody else could see it. There's no better time than now to be your own chief betterment officer and to understand that these compressed uncertainties and changing times are only pushing you to a better situation or to make your situation better. I hope you enjoy this story, and I look forward to being of service.
I remember walking in and my wife was crying because we were losing everything. And she said, "I'm so scared. You know, I don't know how he's going to pull us out of this."
190 to 166 in the blink of an eye. The NASDAQ, everything and more has been completely wiped out.
Her uncle, who also had known me since I was 9 years old, he said, "Oh no." He said, "I've known that kid." I get choked up because I've known that kid since he's been 9. He goes, "I can't wait to see what he does with his back against the wall." People say, "Oh yeah, it's easy to trust the universe where you're at right now." Yeah, it is. It's a lot easier to trust. But it wasn't when I first got my first paycheck after losing everything, not owning anything, renting a house, renting my furniture, and writing my first check to charity for my first paycheck. With 3 daughters that weren't even close to high school and a pregnant wife. When we allow a problem, a challenge to grow arms and legs, we're actually giving it energy, and we actually are giving it more validity, more statistical success in our life, and more energy. We're actually creating more resistance. We're giving it power. A quick framework can shift our perspective, not only in time, but in importance of what we're doing and take away all the energy of the problem. I would suggest you look at every problem, challenge, resistance that you have in your life. This occurrence is not what I planned. I got a flat tire. My wife left me, somebody passed away, my kid barfed on me. There's a million things you can say that can happen that you don't plan, that ruin days, weeks, months, years, and lives. I just had a friend commit suicide, and he was one of these people that allowed things to ruin his day, his week, his month, his year, and now his life. All framework. And I used to just tell him, dude, it's just, things are happening in your life that you're not planning, but when things happen in your life that you're not planning, you immediately say, the world is against me. Why me? This sucks. It is all determined on who you believe is executing your plan. If you believe you are all-knowing and omniscient and that you already have all the lessons of the universe figured out and you have lived to your potential, then I say, yes, I would be very agitated, aggravated, frustrated, and even negative if it wasn't going as planned. This is where faith comes into play for me. Because I believe there's something, someone, some source that has a bigger plan for me. So when I make a plan to try to get to my potential and it doesn't work out the way that I planned, I'm grateful. Because I remind myself, oh yeah, somebody else has a bigger plan for me, a better way to get there, and create less resistance. I allow it to happen. I can look and say, oh, this relationship didn't work out because there's some better relationship coming. This wasn't good for me. This was holding me back. This was whatever it was. Oh, this job let me go. Oh, thank goodness, because there's something that is better for me. I'm going to grow and accelerate. Not my plan. It's such a great way to see and to frame what you're doing that actually now you can have complete conviction towards your plan, but allow inconveniences and look at them in a different way. Because I put my trust where I wanted. I put my faith and my energy in all of those things where I want. I truly put the trust that there's a bigger plan for me. And if you don't believe that, which I didn't when I was younger, let me tell you why I think you should. Because it beats the alternative.
Charlinda Scales is a U.S. Air Force veteran. She's a TEDx veteran, and she's the CEO of Mutt's Sauce. She also never returns my emails. I'm just kidding. I've never emailed her. I'm just making things awkward. Please welcome Charlinda Scales.
BourBiz. Hey, it's me, Charlinda Scales. I miss you guys so much. I know some of you are at home right now cooking with Mutt Sauce, and you were thinking, what is she up to? Well, this past year, I've been grinding, and I've had a baby, and I'm grinding. But seriously, I just want to pass along the fact that I know a lot of you guys have been working hard this past year, and we've seen our challenges. We've all had our challenges with this pandemic and this new atmosphere that we're having to navigate. So I wanted to just pass along a couple things to you that have definitely helped me. One is always remember why you're in it. Why are we doing this? That will take you far. I've seen rock bottom. I've talked about it. And that is the one thing that's been at the foundation of it is I know that I want to build a legacy for my family, and I will not stop until that happens, whatever that means. Everybody has their own definition of success. So find whatever that is for you and go after it. I would also recommend, if you're transitioning, to use Military Talent Partners. They're a really great resource for you to look at the skills that you had on active duty and how to translate those into either your company or any program or business that you want to work with. And then I would also recommend the Association for Military Spouse Entrepreneurs, also called emcee Agency. They are focused on making sure that our military spouse entrepreneurs are successful. And I've taught at some of their webinars that they have hosted. It's top notch. You will not get any better resource for military spouse entrepreneurs than emcee Agency. So I'll pass along those to you guys. And I would just say keep grinding, understand why you're in this, and take those things like our ability to persevere. We are pros at compartmentalization that can be good or bad, but for what it's worth, make sure that you can time block, put things in time blocks, put things in categories, and just chip away at each goal one at a time. Don't get overwhelmed. Just keep doing one at a time until you get to whatever goals you're trying to pursue. I believe in you. You can do this, and I'm alongside of you. You can find me online at Charlinda Jean or at Mutt Sauce, and I'm going to give you guys a coupon. Just use BourBiz as your coupon, 10% off. Join the Mutt Sauce family if you haven't done so already. I love you guys. Take care.
Hey everybody, Perry here with Active Valor. I wanted to take the time and remind you all to have your voices heard, get out there and vote. Of course, we're talking about the Rip It 20K on Veterans Day Challenge.
Rip It is doing a contest for $20,000 to a nonprofit.
From combat operations in Afghanistan, combat recovery missions with Hookset Brothers Combat Recovery Nonprofit 501c3, I always rely on Rip It Energy to get me through the day.
What the?
Ripping it every day for 22 Saves Hockey.
Hi BourBiz, Jason Haig, Marine veteran and CEO of Leashes of Valor. I just wanted to give a big shout out to Rip It for their 20K on Vets Day campaign. The money will help us train service dogs and pair them with veterans. These partnerships change lives and help our graduates recover from PTSD and traumatic brain injury. We are so grateful for Rip It's support, and BourBiz, as always, thank you.
What's up everybody? My name is Matt McCoy. I'm the Director of Brand and Strategic Partnerships here at the Headstrong Project. And I'm coming to you guys live from my home, as many of you are as well. And I'm sure many of you are probably saddened that you do not have a commemorative collector's edition of the sheepdog from the Dumb and Dumber movie. Am I excited about that? No. Am I genuinely concerned for my fiance's lack of home decor? Absolutely. But that's not what we're here to talk about today. What we're here to talk about today, guys, is you making us the winners of the Rip It 20K Veterans Day campaign. And we can't thank you all enough, as well as Rip It individually, for making this happen. You guys came together, you collectively spoke out on our behalf of our mission, and we're ambassadors for what we do, and spread the word and nominated us over and over again. And so we just want to thank all of you guys for continuing to make that happen and make us the winners of this challenge. And we want to say thank you not only to yourselves, but yet again, Rip It, on behalf of everybody here at the Headstrong Project. And for those of you that don't know, what we do at the Headstrong Project is we provide cost-free, stigma-free, bureaucracy-free mental health treatment for veterans in need. We're in 28 cities around the nation. We're in 12 states, and we continue to rapidly expand and serve over 1,000 veterans each year. And we only continue to spread within those markets that we're already in and in potential markets that we want to be in. So, but we can't do that without generous donations like this. And we just want to say thank you to all of you again. And, get back to the program. But thank you, guys. We truly and generously accept this. And can't thank you all enough.
Hi, everybody. This is Will Wisner with BourBiz 360. We just learned today that we were selected to be the recipient of a $5,000 award from the great folks over at Rip It Energy. So I'd like to start off by expressing our sincere gratitude to you folks over at Rip It Energy. Thank you all so much. We'd also like to say thank you to the fine folks over at BourBiz that put all this stuff together and made all this possible, and a special thank you to you, our constituents, that nominated us to allow us to even win this award. So thank you all very much. Now, our mission at BourBiz 360 is to provide support for our nation's veterans that are impacted by the issue of military service-related toxic exposure illnesses. And we do this through advocacy, we do this through research, education, and just direct support. So one of our goals here at the organization is to take action where there's need, but there's currently no action ongoing. So this $5,000 award is going to be very helpful in helping us achieve that vision. So today we are proud to announce that we are going to be using this $5,000 to launch the Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson Scholarship Award. And what this scholarship is going to do is it's going to provide for specialized treatment through our network of partners that we've been busy over the last several months putting together and partnering with other organizations that do similar work. We want to compliment them as well. And these facilitations include a multidisciplinary approach in a lot of really complex specialties. These are everything from orthobiologicals, ketamine therapy, stem cells. I mean, the sky is the limit here. This is really big stuff. It's just as anything is possible as long as we just go out and make this happen. So this is that first shot in that war, and we invite you to join along. If you would like to donate to the Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson Scholarship, you can do so by going to BourBiz360.org. Just go to the Donate tab and look for Sergeant First Class Heath Robinson Scholarship as a donation option. And the takeaway here really needs to be is that for around $2,500, we can provide life-changing impact through this scholarship program.
Hey everybody, my name's Chelsea. I'm one of the veteran nurse researchers over at Hunter 7 Foundation. I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Task and Purpose and to Rip It. Rip It has decided, thanks to you guys for nominating us, that they're going to give us a grant for $5,000. With that grant, we plan on doing amazing things. Those amazing things include finding a way to help veterans get the care they need. Because not all veterans go to the VA. A lot come see me in the ER. So we're going to find a way to identify those at risk. The grant will also be used to create our vet-centric program, our identification program for civilian healthcare providers. Again, thank you, Rip It, thank you, Task and Purpose, but most importantly, thank you everyone who continues to support us. We couldn't do it without you.
Eli Crane is the CEO of Bottle Breacher, as seen on Shark Tank, and he's a former Navy SEAL. The only thing that he's missing in his resume is a best-selling book, but since he is a Navy SEAL, I'm sure he's on it right now. Please welcome Eli Crane.
All right, hey guys, my name is Eli Crane, and I'm the founder and CEO of Bottle Breacher. I'm also a former Navy SEAL and a brand ambassador at Sig Sauer Firearms. All right, so that's a little bit about me, but I'm hoping today to give you guys a little bit of a positive and uplifting message about the times that we find ourselves in today. All right. You know, I find that mindset is often the key and the foundation for everything that we go through. And I've probably got more failures under my belt than most of you out there. First time I tried to become a SEAL, didn't become a SEAL. I almost failed out of high school multiple times. I was fired from multiple jobs to include Baskin Robbins and Dairy Queen in the same year. Okay. Then I went on to finally become a SEAL, and then I got out and I tried to start a business. First time I applied for Shark Tank, I didn't hear anything back. The first investor I sat down with didn't want anything to do with our business. And that's just a small list of some of the epic failures that I've had in my life. But you know what? I'm grateful for every single one of them because they've taught me so much. And I found oftentimes in life that it's the storms and the adversity that we walk through that teaches us the most. That's where the most opportunity for personal growth is. And so I wouldn't have said this as a younger man, but as I get older and just a little bit wiser, I realize that there's so much opportunity even in this difficult time. My business right now is shut down for 30 days. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about that because that's out of my control. What I am going to worry about is the things I can control. I have time right now to try and be a better dad. I have more time right now to try and be a better husband. I have time right now to focus on things that I always put off, like some physical health issues and some medical appointments that I should have gone 2 years ago that I never did because I never made time for it. So I'm not going to focus on those things I can't control. I'm going to focus on what I can do with this situation right now. The last thing I want to leave you guys with is one of my favorite scripture verses because I feel it's very pertinent to today. It's James 1:2. All right. It says this: consider it pure joy when you walk through trials of many kinds, for it's the testing of your faith that breeds perseverance. Let perseverance continue so that you may become mature, complete, and lacking in nothing. Now, here's the thing about that verse. Most of us want to become mature, complete, and lacking in nothing. Most of us want to be that multi-million-dollar entrepreneur. Most of us want to have that successful family. Most of us want to get a Navy SEAL trident pinned on our chest, or some other form of success that shows other people that we've got what it takes. The problem is that most of us don't want to walk through the trials of many kinds. Most of us don't want to hold our head high through adverse times and situations. And most of us definitely don't want to consider it joy when we walk through these times of many kinds. And that's the thing as I get older that I'm realizing is that not only are the trials of many kinds necessary, but I'm actually more and more glad and joyful when I get to walk through adverse times because I know I'm being grown. I know I'm being hardened. I know I'm being forged for whatever God has for me next. And I hope that you guys can see opportunity in this difficult time. And I hope you're making the best use of the time that you do have, because sooner or later, these bans are going to get lifted and we're going to get back at it. Did you become a better you during this time? Or did you become a fatter, slower, weaker, more scared version of you during this time? Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this BourBiz event. God bless you guys, and Breacher up.
He is the author of Struggle Well, the founder of the EOD Foundation, Boulder Crest Retreat, and Hill Vets. Please welcome Ken Falk.
Hey BourBiz people, it's Ken Falk from Boulder Crest Retreat. Let me give you a little background on me for those of you that don't know me. I spent 21 years in the Navy. I was a bomb disposal guy, EOD, and retired as a Master Chief Petty Officer way back in 2002. I started a small business that ended up doing very well and was able to sell that business and leave it in 2010. Since then, I've been really focused on the philanthropic work I did, although I did take a short break and went to college for a year at Georgetown to do a master's degree. But most of my work today is based around the philanthropic efforts that I oversee. Today I oversee two nonprofits, one called the EOD Warrior Foundation, which my wife and I started way back in 2004, and Boulder Crest Retreat Foundation, which is an organization headquartered here in Bluemont, Virginia, where I'm at today, that owns two beautiful retreat centers, one here in Bluemont and one in Sonoyta, Arizona, in southern Arizona. And we also own something called the Boulder Crest Institute for Post-Traumatic Growth. I got into this work primarily because I was really sick of the way the mental health community was treating veterans in the aftermath of war, and I wanted to find some way better to do that. And I think we've done that. Our flagship program at Boulder Crest Retreats called Warrior Path, and the results we're seeing at Warrior Path are second to none in the nation from what I've seen in other programs. What I will tell you is Scott Davidson today asked me to do a motivational or an inspirational talk. I guess it's up to you either to be motivated or inspired, but I'm not a big fan of motivational speakers for a couple reasons. One is I think most of them are full of shit. You find these guys talking about things that they've never actually done themselves, which I always find a little bit frustrating, kind of the academic model. The second reason is that the truth about motivation is it's got to come from within. Even if I motivate you today, my talk will only stick with you maybe for 24 or 48 hours. But the true motivation has got to come from within, or what we refer to as your purpose. Finding your purpose that every single day you get up with this opportunity kind of to go to work and start this new job every single day, right? To go to work like it's your first day on a new job, no matter what it is. 70% of Americans hate their jobs, and I hope you're not one of them. Or if you are one of them, I hope you're in this networking session trying to find a better one. But let me tell you a little bit, what I really wanted to do today is really tell you a little bit about what we do at Boulder Crest Retreat and how it's transforming lives. So at Boulder Crest Retreat, we have a wellness model, as most centers will. And our wellness model is based around 4 areas of wellness: mind, body, spirit, and financial. Because the truth is, and what I need you to really understand, is that everybody, no matter who we are in life, everybody lives a life of ups and downs. And the way to stay in what we call the livable band, not live in a sine wave that looks like this, but this livable band, is to really put 2 borders around your life. The first one is a network of 3 to 5 people that you can trust, mentors, friends, outside of your family circle, but people that can help you achieve the goals that you set in life. The second band on that sine wave is what we refer to as regulation practices. Being able to self-regulate is the most important thing that you can do for yourself, especially if you have any levels of anxiety and depression. Things like breathing, meditation, exercise. Those are the kind of regulation practices where we can come back to ourselves, calm ourselves down, and then make the proper decisions that we need to make rather than rash decisions or just flying off the handle, as many of us sometimes do. So regulation practices are very important, because if you can't self-regulate, we often self-medicate. And although it's okay today to have a bourbon, I want you to understand that it's not okay to go home tonight and have a bottle of bourbon. Because once you rely on self-medication, it's almost impossible to come back from. It's about a 97% recidivism rate in drug and alcohol rehab programs. So going down that road is a bad road to get to because it's hard to come back from it. So self-regulation practices and a network of 3 to 5 get around our wellness triangle. So imagine, as I'm talking over the next couple minutes, imagine your wellness triangle and grade yourself on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being low, 5 being high. Grade yourself on this wellness triangle scale. At the top of the triangle, if you will, is our mind. How is our mind working? Are we able to concentrate? Are we able to sleep at night? Are we doing anything in our lives to increase our wisdom? What are we doing for ourselves? Are we reading? Those types of things. If you can't keep a thought maybe straight in your mind at all, maybe you're a 1 on the scale. If you think you have everything together in the way of a mind, maybe you're a 5 on the scale, but maybe somewhere in between, a 2, 3, 4. And most of us never get to 5, but it always gives us something to work to. On the bottom left of the triangle is our body. How fit are you? Are you fit or are you fat? And that's really important because we know, especially from our military service, we know how important fitness is. So what am I doing for myself? And how do we measure fitness? It's by activity, it's by flexibility, it's by your diet. all the things that bring all this together, your hydration, what are we doing to keep ourselves fit every single day? Because the truth is, as we get older, it doesn't get easier. And that's really something that we don't really appreciate, I think, in our younger days. On a scale of 1 to 5, you can't walk up the stairs without getting out of breath, or maybe you're a 5 because you're involved with Team Red, White, and Blue and all these other organizations that do fitness, and you're working out 5 or 6 days every week. On the other side of the triangle on the bottom is our financial wellness. A lot of organizations that do wellness models don't talk about finances, but I think as an American, and as an American looking for a job, we understand that you can't live well without finances. On a scale of 1 to 5, maybe a 1 is you're homeless, you have no job, you have no income. On a 5, maybe I've planned for my retirement, I have plenty of money saved away. If my air conditioner went out on my house today, I'd be able to replace it without taking out a second mortgage. But financial wellness is very important. And I'll share a little secret my dad shared with me. Don't spend more than you make. And that's a problem that a lot of Americans get into, is that we just have so much debt that we can't overcome that debt. So be very careful in our financial wellness. Now, as all of you know, a triangle is geometrically the strongest shape we know. But the truth is, if you think of the outside of that triangle, it's really our ego. How smart are we? How fit are we? How much money do we have? And even the biggest egos will collapse if nothing's inside of them. So inside of our triangle is what we call our spirituality ball, what fills us inside. And that ball should touch all 3 sides of that triangle. That's what a healthy spirit looks like. Now, we're not a religious organization, so we measure spirituality in a different way. The first way is character. Are you the man or the woman that you really say you are? Are you living what I would refer to as a congruent life? Are your thoughts, feelings, and your actions aligned? Are they the same? Or are you saying things and doing things? And we all had leaders, even in the military, who were, do as I say, not as I do. And nobody wants to be that way. And I think it's really important to build a strong character in our lives. The second way that we measure spirituality is our relationships with our family, our relationships with that 3 to 5 I talked about earlier. And then the third way we measure spirituality is our service to others. What are we doing for somebody other than ourselves? And that's really important. And these don't have to be big things. You don't have to go start a nonprofit. You can go to the soup kitchen on Sundays, go down and feed some homeless people. There's a lot of small tasks in your community that you can do that don't require starting a nonprofit. And I know a lot of people do want to start them. I talk to a lot of people all the time, and I just don't think that that's the right thing to do, especially today. In the veteran community, we have 45 or 46,000 nonprofits. We don't need another one. We need more collaboration, and we need more people to help their communities. Because the true warrior way is to come home from war and be the productive member of society here that you were on the battlefield. That's the warrior way, and that's what we preach here at Boulder Crest Retreat. That's spirituality. So on a scale of 1 to 5, I'm not doing anything for anybody else. I have no relationships. Maybe you're a 1, and on the way of a 5, you filled that ball. So remember, sine wave, regulation practices, get your 3 to 5, and work every day to go from a 1 to a 5 on your wellness triangle. The sharper we can keep the points of that triangle and the fuller we can keep that ball, the healthier we'll be and the more productive we'll be to serve others, which is really what life's all about. Let me end with a really quick, maybe a joke. Scott Davidson and I went up to upstate New York a couple years ago to go deer hunting. And I don't know if you remember this trip or not, Scott, but we got up there and the only way we could warm this cabin was with firewood. So we went outside before we ever did anything, went hunting and went and started cutting this firewood. And I kept looking over at Scott, and as the firewood cutting was occurring, his pile seemed to be getting bigger than mine, and mine was much smaller. And this pile kept getting, and every time I looked around and turned around, Scott was sitting down, and I was over there, finally, even in 30-degree weather with my shirt off, sweating and having a hard time cutting this firewood. And that night, Scott and I grabbed our bourbon and we went and sat by the fire. And I said to Scott, Scott, that was a great day today, but there's just something I don't get. And he said, well, what was it, Ken? And I said, well, your firewood pile was 3 times the size of mine. But every time I turned around and looked at you, you were sitting on your ass. I said, how do you account for that? And And he said, well, Ken, when I was sitting on my ass, I was sharpening my axe. So listen, sharpen your axe, sharpen your wellness triangle. Thank you all for being here today and watching this video. And Scott, thanks for your leadership on BourBiz.
Chef Andre Rush was a White House chef under 4 presidential administrations. He's an Army veteran, and he does a lot of push-ups, like more push-ups than I can even imagine. I did a push-up challenge against him one time, and I lost. Please welcome Andre Rush.
First things first, I want to say hello, good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. It is an absolute pleasure to be here once again at BourBiz, amazing platform. Also, thank you guys for your service. Thank BourBiz for putting on this extraordinary event virtually. Of course, social distancing is a thing. I know right now in this situation with COVID, everybody's going crazy. I know you guys are not, because we have each other, which I love to death. And I have to thank BourBiz again, Scott, Justin, for putting on this amazing opportunity. While we're here, you're going to have some amazing people that's speaking, me being one of them as well. Actually, I'm just one of the guys that's tagging along, but I admire them all. So I'm here for the ride. But one of the things I would like to say is to you guys is social distancing, of course, you know, with this going on, but also the resiliency, not only for you, but for your families, for your friends. I hope it's not getting to you, because you are the best of the best, the strongest of the strongest. The will of the will. Oh my God, so many things I can say about you. Speaking of saying about you, I have to stop for a second and say thank you to the spouses. You are my number ones, right? I'm your number one fan. So everything that you do, you are very much appreciated. Caregivers, resources, outlets, thank you all. Military members, thank you all for everything that you do. You inspire the heck out of me. You motivate me. And you give me the strength and the platform to do the things that I do. You go in front of millions of people, hundreds of people, dozen. I don't care if it's one person. If I do one person that makes a difference, my job is done. So I am eternally grateful for that. All here at BourBiz, I want you to take time to think about it, because even though it's virtually, it is still has a magnitude of resources, connections, and family and friends, people, networking. Please be sure to network. Here is no different. You have a wealth of knowledge, a wealth of all these things that you need to understand. If you know me, I'm all about entrepreneurship. I'm all about development, self-care, awareness, mental health. Even with doing 2,222 push-ups a day, it's not enough. And by the way, it doesn't matter who I'm doing it for. It could be cancer, suicide awareness, prevention, kids, ALS, doesn't matter. I'm doing them for someone that may need me, the same way they may need you. So we're all on the same platform and we're doing the exact same thing, but we're doing it together. So with that, I am extremely grateful. Now, one thing I do need you guys to do is to do a favor for me. So while you have this time to sit back and think, you're sitting here for the last 6 weeks, I think it's been 7 weeks, 8 weeks. I don't know. I don't care, because that's not my problem to worry about, the here and now, and think about it. What am I going to get, and what am I going to take? What's my take from it if I just complain? If I complain about I'm sitting here, I'm bored, I'm tired, take this time and make it an opportunity. Take this time for self-care, self-development, awareness, family. You got your kids, you got your spouses, you have school. Start a business. It takes 2 minutes to start an LLC. Do something that you've probably done a million times and look at it differently and make it into something that's your worth, your value. Don't complain about everything that's going on, and please don't worry about your neighbor. And I know none of you guys do, otherwise you wouldn't be here. But I'm just saying this because somebody may need to hear it. Now, my whole thing is about mental health. I know about mental health. Me personally, I've been in some pretty bad places. But it was even more important to me to let people understand why I've been in bad places. Not even why, but that I've been in bad places, and those bad places didn't overrule me, right? I've done bad things. We've all done bad things. We've seen bad things, and we're going to see bad things. And I talk about positive, and we talk about positivity and negativity. Here's the deal. Always going to be positivity and negativity. Positivity, I'm going to feed off of. Negativity, I'm going to feed off 200 times more. Always. There's always going to be negativity around, but you're the person that needs to turn it around. Going into that part is about self-worth, about belonging, self-care, intestinal fortitude. The things that we do organically, the things that we do in the military, outside the military, it doesn't matter who you are, it don't matter where you came from, what service, which branch, we're all one unit. We are together on this. So from me to you, I'm extremely grateful to have this opportunity to talk to you guys, even if it's for a moment. But I know I will be at the next BourBiz. I don't care where it is or what I'm doing, literally. I will be there because I owe you, each and every last one of you, a virtual hug, a handshake, something, a pound, a salute, or whatever. I don't know. And besides, you know me, I like to do push-ups. I've challenged everyone in push-ups everywhere I go, so you can win one of my gold-filled coins that everybody loses on. I'm proud of that. But it's not win or lose. It's as long as you drop, we're good to go. And do it for someone. So, again, I'm Chef Rush. If I didn't say that already, it's a pleasure and honor to be here at BourBiz. Thank BourBiz and their incredible team, Scott, Justin, all the guys. You are very much appreciated. Thank you for being a resource. Thank you for putting this thing together. Thank you for your service. Everyone, you know where to find me. I am always here all the time, and I 100% mean that. It is an absolute pleasure. I will see each and every last one of you soon. You are your biggest worth. Trust me when I say that. I know that because I am that. I'll see you soon.
Tim Jensen is the Chief Strategy Officer for the Grunt Style apparel brand. And I recently did a project with him. I gotta say, he's a pretty good actor too. I do contract work for him at times, so I gotta be honest, he's the most handsome, smartest, sweetest person I know. If you wanna give me a little more money, that's fine, Tim. And I gotta say, I just love working for the guy.
Crazy things. This year has just been madness. Let's make it work, because I got 5 minutes of your time. Me, you, all of you, drinking, right? Hi everybody, my name is Tim Jensen. I'm the Chief Strategy Officer at Grunt Style. We're really excited to be part of BourBiz this year. Such an incredible group, incredible people, and not to mention, what an extraordinary time this event where Recipient is giving away $20,000 for their Veterans Day giveaway. How fantastic. 4 lucky nonprofits are going to be receiving $5,000 each. And I couldn't be more proud to be a part of this. And you know, I've been with the company for about 8 years now. Coming up on my 8th year anniversary, and it's been an incredible ride. You know, being somebody that has been with the company for so long and seeing it from its very beginnings to where we are today, I couldn't be more proud of this team. And you know, I've had a very interesting journey along the way. I was originally hired in as a shirt folder, not the job I applied for. I actually applied for a graphic design position, and Daniel laughed me out of his office. But ended up calling me back and saying, I really want you on the team, and he had a position for me. I didn't really ask what the money or the pay was, and said I'd take the job because I really wanted to work with Grunt Style and started my career here. And from folding t-shirts, my goodness, I mean, that seems like so long ago, but you know, we started folding t-shirts, went from folding t-shirts to be a press operator, from press operator to be a lead press operator, production manager, operations manager, chief operating officer. I was made a partner in the company 3 years ago. Went on to be a president in the interim of our transition of leadership. And now I'm operating as the Chief Strategy Officer of the business. What I think is very unique about that is, you know, what we've really facilitated inside of Grunt Style is a meritocracy. You know, I've never heard of a story where, you know, in corporate America, where you have an individual that comes from really the bottom of the ladder all the way to, you know, a top executive and, you know, part owner of a business. You know, so I'm extremely proud to have that opportunity to really take the run and, you know, carry as much of a burden as I possibly could and get things accomplished. You know, in really doing it through the most pivotal growth periods of our company, which was actually quite chaotic. It sometimes felt like we were running down a hill on fire, and we're all working on the vehicle on the outside of it as it's rolling down the hill. So wrap your heads around that one. But I had an incredible journey. Worked with some of the best people I can ever ask for on a team within this community, and we continue to do things within this business that, you know, is doing great things for the veteran community. One of those initiatives that we are working on right now is our presumptions bill for the warfighters of toxic exposure that we have on Capitol Hill right now, HR 8261. Fantastic piece of legislation that has the opportunity of changing the veterans' lives of the 3.5 million veterans that have been in and out of Afghanistan, Iraq, and multiple other areas around the world. So these are a little bit of the things that really inspire me to continue doing more, is that Grunt Style has created this platform over the last 10 years, which has a massive voice. And we're doing it for good, and we're doing it in ways that are giving back to our community, that is impacting individuals' lives, and really being a force of good. And I challenge every one of you out there. You're all entrepreneurs. You're all started. You're all going through the grind. Some of you just started the grind. But we should all be looking at targets far beyond our initial look and our forecast, and seeing how we can utilize our platforms to do good in our community. And I couldn't be more proud to be alongside all of you in this journey, and continue to work shoulder to shoulder with all of you. Now, before we get out of here, I want to share something with you that has become the tradition within Grunt Style, and something that has become a tradition within BourBiz as well. And that's our 4-toast salute. So if you have a drink, let's hold them high, and let's have a cheers to all those that have served. To all those who supported us while we served. For all those young bucks still wearing the uniform. And for those who never made it home. Cheers. All right, everybody, that's it. Hope to see you soon. Toodaloo.
Tony Williams, aka the Queen Motivator, is the founder of Queen Motivator LLC. She's also a Marine Corps veteran. I didn't say ex-Marine. Pretty good, huh? There's no such thing as an ex-Marine. Trust me, they'll let you know that.
Hey, my name is Tony Williams, creator and founder of Queen Motivator LLC, which provides resources for the Black female veteran and allies. I am a United States Marine Corps veteran. Hoorah, Semper Fi. I was inspired to create Queen Motivator because of my own, of course, military experiences. And I created her in 2017 and launched her in February of 2019. And transitioning out of the military is what actually piqued my interest in creating a platform for people to network, for people to look at job postings, for people to come through and see what type of mental health resources that they can utilize and reference when they're asking for help, which is very important. Getting out of the military is definitely mental health, and knowing who to talk to, and knowing what healing methods or what type of resources fit that certain veteran. I also have a blog space located on www.queenmotivator.com with content and with panel discussions from various women veterans. If you want more information, or you just want to see what Queen Motivator can do for you, please visit www.queenmotivator.com. You can catch me on IG at The Queen Motivator, or Twitter, Queen_Motivator. Thank you for your continued sacrifices, and thank you to the military families that continue to support us. You are appreciated. Thank you, and simplify.
Our next speaker is an inspirational speaker. He's a TED Talk speaker, and he is one of the founding members of BourBiz. He's also a Purple Heart recipient. Please welcome Justin Constantine.
Hi there. It's Justin Constantine. I'm really excited to be one of the speakers today on the BourBiz video. And, when Scott and I co-founded the Veteran Success Resource Group back in 2015, we really had no idea that it would morph into this BourBiz platform and grow the way it has. So it's been very exciting evolution for us. So we have a great team around us. As you can see, we have a great lineup today. This is our second virtual event. We've had probably close to a dozen live events around the country. And each one is bigger and better than the last. And we've just grown and grown. And the reason that we've continue to grow and why so many veterans and spouses and military allies appreciate our events is because it was all designed with an idea that getting out of the military is hard, transition is difficult, and a lot of us lose that sense of camaraderie that we feel while we're in. So why not host local events, all for free, all at no cost, that we're veterans and we can all reconnect with each other, but really find out about the resources in our local communities, wherever we are around the country, because otherwise it can be quite overwhelming. So that's the whole focus, and that's continue to grow. And we love that so many people today are watching this whole series. Now, COVID-19 obviously has cast a long shadow over all of our lives here in America, around the world, but it's impacted us one way or another, for many of us in multiple ways. We also know that veteran suicide is too high, and that mental illness is an issue in our community and across America as a whole. In fact, after I was injured in Iraq, I went to PTSD counseling for 18 months, one-on-one counseling with a psychologist for an hour at a time every week. And that was the best decision I could make. It really helped me turn my life around. And I learned to realize, and since then I've done a lot of work around mindfulness and positivity and attacking problems head on. And I know that there's a lot we can't control out there, especially during COVID, but we can control what goes on in here. We can control our thoughts and our emotions and how we feel about things, how we respond to things, the choices that we make, the things we do and the things we don't do, how we treat others around us. So I think my words today are focused on that, is along the Marine Corps mantra of bloom where you're planted. But it means taking action when that's appropriate, but being a leader. And in the military, we pride ourselves on leadership, and sometimes that means taking direct action and motivating people around a common cause. But sometimes it means taking a step back, gathering intel, and getting all the information you can, and then moving forward, or figuring out how you can help more people around you. So right now, a lot of us need help. And it's okay to ask for help, especially on this platform. I know if you reach out to Scott or reach out to me or any of us who are part of this platform, we're going to do whatever we can to help you. It's okay to ask for help and lean on others for support. That means that you're mature and you understand that no one gets anything done all by themselves. So it's okay to ask for help. The other side of that coin is, if you're in a good position to help others, I hope you're looking for opportunities to do that. And that's something that's critical in the military that we learn. And that's one of the main things we lose when we leave, is that camaraderie and knowing that we have a team around us. So you have a team here at BourBiz and the Veteran Success Resource Group. We're all part of this team together. We can all push forward together. We're all in a position to progress together. So as you watch the rest of the speakers, we're all going to learn some incredible things from some really inspirational people, some great guidance, whether it's about entrepreneurship or transition or physical and mental health and well-being or mentorship, whatever it is. We have some great speakers here. But remember, it's okay to ask for help. Don't miss an opportunity to take care of people around you. And leadership comes in many ways. Taking direct action and also listening and looking for ways to help others. We can control what's going on in here. We can take the time to assess the problems around us and then act accordingly. That's what's worked for me. During our last session on BourBiz Virtual, I opened up about a serious medical diagnosis of cancer I received in January. The outpouring of support was incredible. It's helped me so much. And so I know that if you're facing a challenge right now and open up to others around you, you're also going to receive that same benefit and realize so many other people around you want to help you succeed. I know I would do that if you told me you had an issue you're facing. So let's do this together and let's power on.
Lieutenant Colonel Olivia Nunn is from Soldier for Life, and she specializes in military transition. Please welcome Lieutenant Colonel Olivia Nunn.
Hi everybody, I'm Lieutenant Colonel Olivia Nunn, and I serve as the Director of Communication for U.S. Army Soldier for Life. What is Soldier for Life? For those of you guys that don't know, and you haven't had the opportunity to meet us, and we look forward to meeting you at the next event where we're not tied down at home because of COVID-19, Soldier for Life is an outreach program on behalf of the United States Army where we go find opportunities that matter to our Army family members, our Army veterans, as well as our Army soldiers. And those opportunities exist in the way of employment, education, and health and wellness resources. And we share all of these good pieces of information consistently on our social media platforms. You can find us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and maybe you're a video lover. We even have a YouTube channel. Maybe social media isn't for you, and you'd rather listen to those nuggets of information. You can find us on Google Play, iTunes, and Spotify in the way of the Soldier for Life podcast. Every single Sunday, we bring to you about a 20-minute segment on good pieces of information that matter to our military community. Everything from how to meditate to maximizing your VA home ownership, or what is the GI Bill and all of the benefits that you could take away from that, and organizations that give scholarships to those that are leaving the service and want to better themselves at an institution of higher learning. Those are just a few of the topics that we've talked about. So I highly encourage that you check us out on social media as well as our podcast series. What's really important and what I really want you to take away from this is that we are constantly here to serve our military community. So we want to know what matters to you. And if we haven't talked about the topic that you want to hear, make sure you send us a message. And I look forward to the time in which we can actually have a handshake, share a cup of coffee, and be able to talk to you about the things that matter to you. And what I encourage you to do is consistently network. And there's so many good pieces of information that has been given on our social media platforms that talk about networking. And there's a lot of experts out there that talk about that. So take the opportunity like this digital, virtual BourBiz to get to know our military community and the resources that are out there. Times may be tough right now, but we know that we can always lean in on our resources, our military community. And I hope you know that Soldier for Life is here to help you. So if you need any more pieces of information, be sure to check us out not only on our social media platforms, but check out our website, soldierforlife.army.mil. Again, thanks for everything that you guys do. I hope you have a great virtual time and look forward to seeing you at another BourBiz event. Thanks for everything that you guys do. Once a soldier, always a soldier. Soldier for Life.
Natalie Olivero is a Navy veteran and also an expert in military transition. I like to call her, though, Natalie Olivero. It sounds a little more spicy, you know? Please welcome Natalie Olivero.
Hey, BourBiz crowd. I'm so glad you can make it. I'm Natalie Olivero, and I'm the founder of Military Talent Partners, a Navy veteran myself on a mission to help every service member, veteran, and military spouse transition into a meaningful career. We work with companies all across the country to help them hire amazing veterans and spouses into their next mission. We have a free mentorship platform. We believe that mentorship is the foundation of everything. I think the best advice I could ever give any one of you would be to get a mentor as soon as possible. As early on in your military career, or if you're post-military already, there's no better time than right now to get a mentor. And you can get amazing access to professional mentors, industry professionals alike for free. It's literally a no-lose situation. Our company is built on the foundation of free mentorship for all. We cultivate the talent through mentorship and then connect that talent to opportunity at a massive scale for employers all across the country who are military focused, military minded, and want to diversify and grow with military talent. I want to talk to you today about military transition. We have an online curriculum, the first of its kind, that will help anyone transition from career A to career B. And everyone who takes this class all start at the same point. And it's the same point that I make in all of my mentorship conversations when we're first starting out. And that is, you have to be crystal clear on your career goals. You have to absolutely know what you want to do next, why you want to do it. How will you do it bigger and better or different than everybody else that also wants to do the same thing as you? It's a lot. It's hard. It's also the biggest step that the most people skip. When you think about transitioning from any job, especially the lifestyle of the military, you become surrounded with the idea that you just need to hit the ground running. You just need to get a great job. So you must need a resume and you need a LinkedIn profile. So let's just go ahead and make that happen. But you skip the step of figuring out exactly what you want to do. And if you don't know what your goals are and you don't know how to articulate exactly what you want to do, it's really hard to go and get it. That's how such a massive number of people end up either unemployed or massively underemployed. And we want you to avoid that. So we are here to help you figure it all out from scratch. What do you want to do? Why do you want to do it? And how will you do it better or different than somebody else? Ask yourself this question until you can't go any deeper. What do I want to do? Okay, maybe you figured that part out, but why? Why do you want to do it? Well, I want to be a strong leader, but why? What do you get out of leadership? I like to mentor and coach others. Well, why? Because you want other people to succeed. But why do I want people to succeed? Because I want the company to succeed. Well, why? Because I want to make a difference in the world. Keep asking why until it's so annoying, until you get to the very bottom of it and you have your answer. Transitioning does not have to be as difficult as it sometimes can be. Reach out, ask for help. You are not alone. With mentors on your side, you can silence all the noise in a sea of advice and figure out what's meant for you. No matter what, you should always follow your gut. You know what advice would really fit you and your career goals and your future over other advice that maybe just isn't the right fit. But mentors can definitely make it so much easier. And again, they're at your fingertips for free. We recommend coming in at the ground level. We'll pair you up with someone through Veterati, through American Corporate Partners, through Elite Meet, or the Travis Manion Foundation. Depending on your mentorship goals and what you're looking for and where you're at, Military Talent Partners believes in meeting you where you are. Wherever that is, we're walking right beside you. It doesn't matter if you don't have a resume, if you haven't spent 2 minutes thinking about what's next. It doesn't matter where you are. We're going to meet you there side by side. We are a for-profit, for-a-purpose company, and our purpose is to see you succeed. Reach out to us today at militarytalentpartners.com. You can follow us on social media. Reach out to me personally on LinkedIn. I'm Natalie Oliverio, wishing you all the best, and I'm here to help. So reach out and, hey, cheers to you.
Sean Matson is the CEO of Mattbach. He's also one of the co-founders of Strikeforce Energy, and we got another Navy SEAL.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Sean Matson. I graduated from Virginia Military Institute in 2005. Went directly into the Navy for 13 years as a SEAL officer. I did 10 years active, and then another 3 years in the reserves. And then during my time as active duty, I actually started working on a company that we own called Mattbach, where we develop and innovate technologies and products and bring them to the market with my business partner, Zach Steinbach. And we started that in 2010. But even before that, we were starting to work on some projects to try to get to the military, and really just didn't really understand how to do that. So we started kind of figuring out, finding mentors around us to help us, and then they helped guided us to where we were able to start the company in 2010, and then we took that and we've grown it from 2010 till now. We've brought over 100 products to the market, everything from innovative night vision goggle accessories that go on the end of your goggles that allow you to see autofocus, where you can see something at 18 inches and then you can look out and see everything out to infinity, to our medical devices and medical litters that we have. So we have a very wide range of products, and we're looking for those products that change paradigms. And what I want to get into today, though, is talking about right now is the best time to start a business. And really, you got to understand that there's really never a perfect time to start a business, but I would argue that right now is a really great time to start a business. And the fact is because, and I would argue it's better than 2 months ago. So the reason I'm going to say that is because right now more people are looking for opportunities, and you look all around, there are opportunities to start a business. So why don't you give them a reason to look for you and show them that you've provided a solution to maybe a current problem that they have. So there's an opportunity. So more people are looking for these opportunities, right? Digital ads right now are on fire. And if you don't understand exactly what I'm talking about, there are millions of hours of Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and everything else like that that you could, tutorials that you could go find on YouTube. It's going to take a little bit of work on your part to do this, but you will be able to absolutely crush social media ads right now, and buys are cheaper. People are in front of devices all day, their computers, they're not traveling around. And the third thing is you literally have no excuses. There's no sports on TV. Watching news is depressing, and every hour that you spend watching Tiger King is an hour that you're losing not being able to start your company. So you're just wasting time doing this. I mean, think of all the time that you were spent, 2 months ago traveling to baseball games or soccer games or practice or all these things that are no longer in your schedule right now. So why not get hyper-focused on starting that business because you had no excuses not to? Lastly, this is the most important thing to talk about, right? Everyone else is trying to survive. You could get out there and you could start going out and absolutely dominating the field so that when everything lifts off, you're going 200 miles an hour while everyone else is just figuring out how to start putting their foot back on the gas pedal. So get out there, start a business. All right, recap, here you go, right? 4 things. People are looking for the opportunities, go give them one. Digital ads, you can absolutely crush digital ads right now. You literally have no excuses. And the 4th thing right now, while everyone else is out there trying to survive, you could get out there and thrive and go crush it. So again, my name is Sean Matson. If you have anything for me, reach out to me on social media. I'm at Sean.Matson on all the platforms, and look forward to connecting with you.
Pasha Palanker is a 2-time Purple Heart recipient. He's a suicide bomb survivor, and he speaks fluent Russian, which is pretty cool because I only know maybe 50 words in Spanish, and I know 2 words in Russian, so he's way ahead of me, dude.
Veterans, service members, and first responders, thank you for choosing a life of service. You've chosen to walk down a path that most people will not. Unfortunately, as you go down this path, you will go through traumatic experiences, and these experiences will impact your life long after you hang up your uniform. I remember my first such experience back in 2005 when I was a gunner in my Humvee and I went face to face with a suicide bomber. His vehicle was so close to mine that the only option I had was to pick up my M4, lean over my protective plates, and engage him. I remember that split-second thought of, this is a horrible idea. And then at the same time, I felt this anger inside of me, unlike anything I've ever experienced before. And that anger drove me to action. I was able to engage him, bought us just enough time. We passed him, and then I watched him blow up about 10 feet behind us. So that anger had saved my life and the lives of my teammates back in Iraq. But unfortunately, it was destroying my life for the next 10 years after that. And the worst part about it is that I didn't even realize what was going on, that what was happening to me. It would, as my responsibilities in life grew, I had got a wife and started to have children. My children would do something stupid that kids do. I would overreact, and I would feel guilty. I would isolate myself, and then I would start numbing my pain, and then this turned into a cycle that continued to happen for a decade. For the first 5 years, I was in denial that this is happening to me because I didn't know what PTSD was, and then I made my second mistake. Is when I realized that something is there. I greatly underestimated PTSD and the impact it would have on my life. I thought it would just go away. So I continued to do the same thing. I continued to numb my pain until eventually I hit a rock bottom. I hit a rock bottom, and if not for the strength of my wife and the support of my family, I would have ended up as a statistic, just like a lot of our brothers and sisters do. So what I would urge you is take a look at your life. See how the things that you've experienced in the past, how they're impacting you now, and see how you're dealing with that pain that comes from those experiences. Are you numbing it or are you healing it? There's a lot that can be done to heal our pain. And I don't have the time to get into it in this video, but if you just connect with me on LinkedIn or follow me on Instagram, we'll walk down this path together. Once again, thank you for your service. I appreciate everything you've done for our country. And I hope to connect with you.